Your 8-minute question and answer period will now begin. Do you have any direct competitors? And what is your unique competitive advantage?
As of right now, I don't think any of our projects have any direct competitors. Our unique advantage at U of C is that we've really dove deep into the impact that we're having on people, and we took this year as a growth year to make sure that the impact we've had on every single one of our participants across 4 projects have had a lasting impact.
Tell us about your project's marketing strategy to reach your target audience.
Chrissy, if you want to take that one for Empower.
Yeah, so for Empower, our project that mentors immigrant women, we work closely with some organizations in the Calgary area that we've had a longstanding relationship with. So for example, the Center for Newcomers, we work with them to host informative presentations and answer any questions that future participants might have.
Yeah, and then
go ahead.
And then for Possibility, we just took a cold calling aspect to all of our schools throughout the years we've run Possibility.
How did you manage to meet and plan for your projects as a team despite the COVID-19 restrictions?
During this year, we did a lot of Zoom calls, and we actually started doing some of our recruitment processes early through the summer, just so that we were able to do our onboarding a little bit early and just give people time to really accumulate to the online environment and give our team, even our executive team, time to work together. And that really helped.
What do you expect your projects to look like a year from now?
Yeah, so I think a year from now, again, like my answer earlier, we made sure that everything that we did when we shifted everything online, we took this year, especially for Possibility, to make sure that it worked for each of the participants. So we see that the online platform that we moved Possibility onto, Failing Forward, will last throughout the years, and hopefully it'll be something that we'll be able to continue even without COVID.
Do you have plans to scale your projects? Why and how?
Yeah, so with Possibility, we plan on scaling it online and into more classrooms throughout Calgary in the coming years. And then I'll pass it off to Christy for Empower.
Yeah, for Empower, we definitely have plans to scale it nationwide. We're looking into how we can partner with other Enactus clubs and organizations across Canada to sustain that model that we built.
Can you outline the costs related to the development of your project?
Yeah, so for Possibility, the only real cost that we've had for this year was actually developing our online platform. We're actually lucky enough that our faculty advisor is very involved with the Failing Forward platform, so we're able to utilize that and get Possibility up and running online that way. And then for Empower?
For Empower, this last year, our main cost was hosting a pitch competition. So we were able to give out some funding for participants' ideas and really ignite the spark in their entrepreneurial ambitions.
Could you clarify the role of your partnerships and the role of your team in your projects?
I can begin with Empower. So for our partnerships, we work with a lot of different community organizations, not only to see what indirect competitors we have in the competitive landscape, but also to source our participants. And we've worked closely with a couple of organizations that we've worked with for several years now. And the purpose of our team is to organize our student mentors, faculty, and business members in Calgary that come as guest speakers, and to also organize our participants.
Yeah, and then for Possibility, our biggest partner this year has been Ernest Manning High School. We partnered with them last year in developing, especially the content for online. And then we've had the great pleasure of winning the RBC Project Accelerator for the past 2 years. And our team advisor support that they've provided us has actually been invaluable with the growth of Possibility, as well as some of our supporters, as we've been very fortunate to rely on our business advisory committee as well, who's provided some valuable insight for us.
What surprised you the most as you worked on your projects over the last year?
I can speak for Empower. What really surprised us as a team is the motivation and the resilience that our participants have had. We were initially concerned that with Zoom fatigue and the difficulties from the COVID-19 pandemic, that there wouldn't be an interest in our project, but in fact there was more interest than in prior years.
Yeah, I think one thing that we're nervous about with Possibility as well is really developing content that worked with these students online, because all of our content was to do in person. But we're very surprised with how well everything translated online and kind of the feedback on the curriculum that we got.
Why is your team the right group to run your projects?
Team is the right group to run these projects because of how much we care about each of the issues that we're dealing with. All of the delegates and even the exec members that we recruit from our school all have a lot of passion for what we're doing. They're not just joining to join another club, they're joining because they specifically want to help our community. And this is the kind of stuff that our community is working on.
Looking at the triple bottom line, people, planet, prosperity, is there one of those that your team could have done better?
I think the one thing our team could have done better is the planet aspect. One thing that we've loved to have was a climate related project, but this year we decided just to focus on the growth of our projects, our existing projects instead.
If your team was given $25,000 right now, what would you use it for?
If we were given $25,000, I definitely think we would work to put a lot more content on, say, for example, the Possibility site, and not just necessarily new content, but really upping the content that we already have, maybe adding some activities that are even more engaging. And I think same with for Empower, is just maybe seeing what other guest speakers we can afford to bring in. Maybe there's other types of courses that we can give them access to, put money towards that, more money towards that spring pitch competition for Empower, as well as developing our other projects such as Autism Works Entrepreneurship and our Sync projects, as well as maybe starting up new projects.
What is an example of a hurdle you faced because of COVID-19 and how did you overcome it?
Yeah, I think the biggest hurdle that we faced is transitioning everything online. We're put in a very difficult position this year when we were notified that clubs weren't allowed to do anything in person. And how I'm very proud with how our team overcame that with getting the.
Your time has now expired. Thank you, Enactus University of Calgary.